everyone, and thanks for tuning into my weekly video message. As I mentioned in my video last week, over the next few weeks I'll be offering the wisdom and practices of Musar, an ancient Jewish practice which focuses on the cultivation of positive inner traits. And I'm offering this as a way to help us meet this moment and meet the challenges that we're facing personally and collectively in our country with strength and with courage and with moral imagination. Now, many of us know who we want to be in the world and how we want to face the challenges of life and the political turmoil of these times. We want to be strong. We want to be courageous. We want to be tenacious in fighting for what we believe in. We want to be compassionate and kind. We want to be grounded in truth, and we want to feel strong and hopeful and faithful. But the question is how? How can we do this? How can we step into these ways of being in this moment? The wisdom and practices of Musar are helpful in this regard because they offer us the ability to embody all of these qualities and all of the Jewish values that we hold dear in all that we do. As one of the great Musar teachers, Rabbi Eliyahu Lopian, teaches, the goal of Musar practice and learning is to make the heart feel what the head knows. And Musar offers a set of practices and teachings that can really help us open our hearts and align our behavior with who we want to be in our lives and in these turbulent times. In this regard, I want to dive into our first midah, our first soul trait, which is the midah of anava, which means humility. Now, when we think of somebody who's humble, we often think of somebody who's quiet and unassuming, somebody who lets others take the lead, and perhaps they're even meek or submissive. But Judaism has a much more complex understanding of humility. And one of the ways that our tradition understands humility is that it's about responding to the demands of the moment and doing so with a sense of service. Humility is about discerning what is being asked of us in any given moment and stepping up based on what is needed. According to our tradition, Moses embodies just this kind of humility. Towards the beginning of the book of Exodus, Moses is in the desert looking after his father-in-law's sheep, and he suddenly sees a bush that is burning but is not consumed. He stops, he looks at it, and God calls out to him from the bush, and Moses responds, and he says, Hineni, here I am. And in that moment, God calls out to Moses to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt and into freedom. The medieval commentator Rashi looks at this episode, and he says that in this moment, Moses is not only being pious, but that he's demonstrating humility and a readiness to take action. In this way, our tradition is teaching us that sometimes what it means to be humble is to step up and to take action and to respond to the needs of the moment. It is not to step back. It's not to let others take the lead, but it's to step up and take action in response to the needs of the moment, and to do so out of a sense of service to others, to our country, and to the wider world of which we're a part. This is what this moment is asking of us. To be humble in this moment is not to sit on the sidelines, not to wait for someone else to fix what's broken, but to be humble in this moment is to step up and to take action for a country defined by compassion and tolerance and freedom and human dignity and justice and human decency. With that, I want to invite each of us to reflect this week on anava, on humility. What is our natural tendency when it comes to humility? Do we tend to be on the quiet and unassuming end of the spectrum? Perhaps we avoid taking action or stepping into leadership. Or are we on the other end of the spectrum? And do we tend to step up and take action and make our voices heard for what we believe in? And in what ways might each of us respond to the call of these tumultuous times and step into action to repair all that is broken and that is breaking before us? As usual, I look forward to hearing your responses to these questions. I hope you'll reach out to me at rabbi@bettorah.org. I look forward to hearing what's on your heart and your mind.